Just recapping last weekend, just got a chance to review the film and just really proud of our football team. I thought they kept their composure and did the things that we needed to do to win the football game. I kind of was sitting here Saturday night and I was a little critical of Braden. And after watching the film, I had to reconsider that. I really am proud of him. He did the things that he needed to do to help the team win the game. And sometimes that doesn't show up in stats or completions. And, when I reviewed the tape, he threw some really amazing balls in that game, made some big plays, had another big one that should have been caught. And, and I told him that today. We mentioned all the players that played winning football, and I thought Braden, even though he could have probably completed a couple more intermediate passes, I thought the plays that he made in the game were critical for us winning that game. Really proud of our defense, really proud of how we played on special teams, and, it was a good win. It was a really good win. Loved the fact that we finished our last game in Canvas with a victory and sent our seniors out with a real positive memory. We're going to Hawaii now this week. We're going to the Rock out there and playing a Hawaii team that is really, really a competitive team, especially at home. They play a little bit differently at home than they play on the road. They've had some big victories. They beat New Mexico State, who just beat Auburn. They beat Air Force. And so they're a very dangerous team. And it's a different trip for our kids. Fortunately, we played over there several times, and we understand the things that are important to go play over there. Actually, Timmy Chang taught us most of those things. And so, but it's really important that the kids understand the week, how we've adjusted the week, how we get acclimated to the time change. And I think it's a fortunate thing that we play them this week. We don't have any school this week. We can adjust our practice schedule. We don't have any conflicts with class. And so we can kind of handle this week the way we need to help them prepare for the win. I told the kids today, Thanksgiving and Christmas are great holidays. They just happen to fall during football season. And some of my best memories are playing on Thanksgiving or practicing on Christmas. And so we want to be able to do both. And so we consider ourselves really fortunate to be practicing this week and getting ready to play a really important game.
So you talked to Timmy a lot. Did you talk to him a little bit less this week, or?
I haven't talked to him at all this week. Now, last week we exchanged, some messages and stuff, and because they were actually here last week in Fort Collins, getting ready to play Wyoming, and so. No, they're Timmy's will prepare that team. They're a very prideful team to play at home. I mean, they play extremely hard. It's always a tough battle whenever you play them. Their quarterback is dangerous. They got a really dangerous wide receiver in McBride, and so we've got to be prepared, and we've got to be ready to do all the things we need to do to come out on top.
It's just kind of a fun game for you because this is like the first root in your coaching tree, so
to
speak. You want him to do well, just not this week.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Tim and what he's done there. I know he's really working and developing the players there, and that's the really quality of a good coach is that he's going to develop a team. And that team's gonna have esprit de corps. They're gonna play hard for one another. They're gonna battle you to the very end, and they're gonna come to play every Saturday. And I know Timmy has those leadership skills, and I also know how important it is for them to finish strong. They want to win this game badly to show improvement in their program, and we want the same thing. And so, that's kind of the recipe for a really competitive game, and we've got to be ready for that.
Each of the last few weeks you've, gone through each game as like a 1 week kind of playoff game and put that pressure on yourselves. Do you think that having that kind of pressure environment helps alleviate maybe some of the pressure this weekend, or helps prepare you guys?
I just think it's the same. I really do. I talk to our players and coaches both. I mean, the only thing that we can really control is the process of preparing to play, and that hasn't changed. And in a lot of ways, you know, when we looked at the schedule and we saw our bye and all that, we were like, oh, I kind of like it. I like playing every week. I like the pressure of having to prepare to play, and I think it keeps everybody focused. And you know, and it's this really the same mentality. What's important now? We had a great night last night. You know, we've changed our schedule a little bit. We're working late, and not starting quite as early, trying to get acclimated to Hawaii time, and it's a good change up this time of year. It's a good change up for our players and coaches, and it's a little awkward at first. You know, the first part of the week it's awkward, but as you start getting closer to the game and you get over on that rock, it starts to feel real comfortable, and so that's what we're working towards. We spent time explaining that to the players and coaches so they understand it. Some of us have experienced it, some of us haven't. But it's important that, you know, we understand the challenges of every week are different, and this is a different week in that regard.
What's trickier, I guess, with this unique road trip? Time change, sitting on the plane for that long, or just kind of what are the biggest challenges?
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the things we told the players is this is a huge weekend in college football. I mean, you got Michigan, Ohio State, you got Washington State, you got the Egg Bowl, you got the Iron Bowl, all these great games, right? Well, we're the last one. We're the very last game of the day. And so, you know, this game will start at 9 o'clock Fort Collins time. It'll start at 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So it's a late game, and so I think the biggest problem that teams have when they go to the island is that if they don't change their clock, they fall asleep in the second half, and they're just not, they don't have enough juice to finish the game. And so we've always practiced at night, and that's been because of classes. We don't have classes this week, so we don't have to practice at night, but we are going to keep the guys up, and we're going to meet and keep them up later at night and get their clocks staying up later, because we usually practice in the morning. So and so by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be quite acclimated. When we land over there on Thursday, we should be really in rhythm to play at 6 o'clock Hawaii time.
You mentioned Saturday night, concern for Avery. How's he doing?
You know, Avery's banged up. I don't know how much he'll be able to practice, but we think that towards the end of the week he should be feeling better and be able to play.
But did it clear out all right as far as the
it wasn't as serious as they thought it could be, and so he's just pretty beat up and sore right now.
You talk about if you win this week, you go to a bowl game, how important that is for this team in the moment. But isn't it also really important for you, your program, and what you want to build towards the future?
I just look at it as an opportunity. We're trying to teach our players to win, and so we get a chance to do that this week and show improvement. And then, you know, we win, we get a chance to do it again. And it really don't care where, when, how, it doesn't matter. It just matters that we get an opportunity to play and to improve as a team, and that's the most important thing right now. And you know, these games at the end of the season are momentum builders. They springboard you into the off season, and you can really gain a lot of momentum from them. And that's what we want to do. You know, we still have a lot of young players that have never experienced this before. And, you know, Braden is one of them. He's never been to Hawaii. You know, every week it's a new experience with Braden, you know. And but this is important for them to experience these kind of things, practice it on Thanksgiving, being away from your family on the holidays. It's all part of growing up and maturing and being a good football player. And the best teams in America are all practicing and playing on these holidays, and we want to be one of those teams. And so this is a great experience for our players.
Like Jacob Gardner talked about, it's like at Nevada, when you started going to bowl games, it was just a different mentality that team now has moving forward. And that's an important step for you as a coach to have the team have that as you want to get this team to where you want it to be.
There's no doubt. I mean, playing in games like that, I don't know, I think I've been in 23, 24 bowl games, something like that. It's kind of like a trapper coming out of the mountains, and you look at his horse, and he's got all these pelts hanging on it. I mean, it shows that he's accomplished something, and I think that helps a player's confidence. When you play in a big game like this, or you play in a bowl game, you just have that in your history, and it's part of the confidence that you move forward with. And we want that. We want the banners to be hanging around in this stadium and in our facility. And we've fallen short in some big games this year, and we want an opportunity for more. And this is just another step in us establishing ourselves as a winning program. And so it is important.
Was Jack and Chase going over 100 tackles the other night? What have you seen from them, maybe the whole defense, during this one game at a time stretch to end the year here?
It's just a critical examples and opportunities of their competitive nature. And we've tried to simplify everything we do here into that. What kind of competitor are you? How are you preparing yourself for these moments? And and I think there were some great examples in the game Saturday. There in the second half, I gave Nevada credit. I think they played as well offensively as they played all year, and our guys battled through that and made plays. And we stopped them. They missed a field goal, and then we dug down and drove the ball down, and Braden threw the big touchdown pass. That shows their competitive stamina, that they're able to withstand that adversity and fight through it. And we need to do it again this week. And once you start doing that, you gain confidence, and that confidence builds into belief, and that's when you have a program. And we've been kind of poking at it all year, and we just need to fight through and finish.
You look at the way the offense is set up this year. Torrey's been Torrey even when he's not been healthy. Dallin was that nice second fit for him. But it seems like JRS and LB have both started to make strides. What have you seen in their games and their development this year?
No, I think they have. I mean, Justice made some big plays Saturday, and Lewis had the big touchdown catch. We need to spread the ball around to everybody. And I think in the last couple of weeks, those guys and Justin have been great. I mean. The running game has given us a shot in the arm to complement Torrey and Dallin, and people are going to try to take them away. I mean, and we have to be able to counterpunch and use other players to make plays, and so I think you're seeing that. We watched our game against Hawaii last year, and we were not great in the red zone, and I think we've improved so much as a team. And the different things that we can do offensively. And I would also say this. I think our offensive line probably hasn't gotten enough credit this year for the improvement that they've made. I think we're leading the conference and giving up the least amount of sacks. And we're actually one of the better teams in the country in that area when we were one of the worst a year ago. So I think our offensive line, the improvement that we've made, has also made a big improvement in our team.
You talk about, getting the ball to all your playmakers. Against Nevada, you had a pretty even split of passing and running. Is that kind of the ideal way that you guys want to play football, is really balanced?
I think we're most effective, when we're probably going to run the ball 20, 25 times a game, but when we can pop big runs and we make explosive runs, and we can, and a lot of our runs are situational. It's red zone, it's short yardage, a goal line, which we were very poor a year ago against Hawaii. I think the first drive of our game last week was the most impressive stretch of plays that we've had as an offense all year. Just going right to work. We got a turnover. We hand the ball off to Avery 4 times and we go score. And we have to be able to do that. And because that makes our passing game even more effective, and it creates more big plays in the passing game when we can run the football like that. So we want to grow with that. We want to improve on that. And I think as our backs get healthy and our young backs get more confidence, you're going to see more explosive runs from us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks.